The search process is hard enough as it is. Having the right partners around you will mean right or wrong, and getting that right before you even set up the fund is as critical as buying the right company, is as critical as running the company well.
Where I would add is that it is important that a searcher also switch their mentality. The searcher is at the core of it. So even if they get the best group of investors around them, if they view their investors as someone that they need to update or to manage in some way, rather than viewing them as a resource where you want to extract, I'm not talking about capital, I'm talking advice or mentoring or network out of them. If you're not tapping everything you can from them, then you're missing out on an opportunity as a searcher.
Hi, I'm AC. I lead Garlic Equity Capital, the first traditional search fund in Singapore.
I'm Tycen. I founded Lighthaven, the first fund of search funds focused on APAC. AC is the prototype for a searcher. So as a former PE partner, I'm very comfortable with the diligence of a business. So the first thing I look for is an operator. I do like folks that have a professional services background. Professional services allows for searchers to have a broader view of sectors, but also functions within a sector, especially coming within a business, especially coming from a consulting standpoint, is that they can adapt to be the jack of all trades that many searchers kind of need to. And I do look oftentimes for a strong MBA, but that's usually an indicator of skills rather than a must-have, because a few of my searchers don't have that as well.
For investors, I think there are a couple of things. I think the first thing that every searcher needs to be aware of is that there are different kinds of investors, and investors play different role in your cap table. I think for Tycen, I definitely see Tycen playing the role first two, one being someone who brings in capital, two being someone who lends a lot of advice. I think for bringing on someone like that into your cap table, the key is someone who not just tells you that they have the time, but shows you that they have the generosity of time and effort.
I think the more important thing was that we kind of figured out over time how to have some of the tougher conversations when I clearly didn't like something or a deal or how something was looking at. How do we have the fact-based conversation of, okay, how does this look? And then AC being able to say the same thing of, hey, you're being a prototypical investor, you're not seeing the opportunities here. We have to have that honest conversation. I think it comes back to the values and that the obligation to dissent and to kind of push back on areas and not just go along with the flow just because that's what's in front of us.
There were more than once where I found myself on different ends of the spectrum with Tycen, but I think what have always been very helpful is Tycen would lend me his opinion, but then he doesn't enforce, right? His view is, I'll tell you what I think, and then I think both of us take a pause. I will think about, okay, what does that imply? How do I execute it? I kind of valued the relationship, the trust building process as much as the objective investor lens that we need to put onto the deal.
Most of the time, I think it's less about time taken. It's about the fact that you take your own path. And that's what I really appreciated, is that if this was a circumstance in which I told and you did, the model wouldn't work, right? Is I tell, you interpolate, and then you make your own path that leads you to the best outcome. And that best outcome is the outcome that you own.